Okay, so the purpose of this video is to explore how do I find a confidence interval for a single mean using the graphing calculator. Okay, I have recently been considering tutoring students individually. As it's been a while since I've done individual tutoring, I'm not sure how much I can charge. I decided that I would survey parents of school-age children to see how much they'd be willing to pay for math tutoring. Of the 72 parents surveyed, the mean amount that they indicated they would be willing to pay for private tutoring is $68 an hour with a standard deviation of 12. Find the 95% confidence interval for the mean amount that all parents of school-age children would be willing to pay for private tutoring. So I'm going to look at the information I have available here. Okay, 72 parents. So my N is 72. I had surveyed 72 parents. And the mean amount that they said that they would be willing to pay is $68 with a standard deviation of 12. Now, little thought here. The standard deviation is 12, and always reading, you're going to spend some time trying to discern, is that my standard deviation of the sample, or is it my standard deviation sigma of the entire population? Notice my sentence. Of the 72 parents surveyed, the mean amount that they indicated they would be willing to pay for private tutoring is $68 with a standard deviation of 12. That indicates the fact that there's no statement saying the population standard deviation is, or sigma equals, excuse me, is a good indication that it is the sample standard deviation that we're talking about here. Okay, so since this indicates that the sample standard deviation is 12, I'm going to use S. Okay, so we're going to go to stat, tests. And since it's a single mean, our options are either going to be number 7 or number 8 in the list, Z interval or T interval. And remember, we've discussed this in class. Z interval is used for if you know sigma. 8, the T interval, is used if you do not. Had we been able to determine that 12 was sigma, the standard deviation for the entire population, we would use number 7 over here, and I'm going to go there, and notice that in number 7, under the stats, we ask for sigma. The calculator asks for sigma. Since we don't know sigma, that's our indication that it's actually number 8, the T interval that we want to use. Okay, and again, notice it asks for S. So our X bar is 68. S is 12. In other words, our sample mean is 68, our sample standard deviation is 12, and N is 72 because we sampled 72 people. If I want to find a 95% confidence interval, our confidence level, our C level, would be 0.95. So always be sure to check your confidence level is set correctly, and then calculate. And notice that we have an interval from 65.18 to 70.82. So what this tells me is the sample mean of the 72 parents I sampled, the mean is that they'd be willing to pay about $68 an hour. And the amount then that I would project with 95% confidence that all parents would be willing to pay is somewhere between $65.18 and $70.82. I'd call it somewhere between $65 and $71 if I was rounding that. So if I was to go actually start tutoring, I might use this information to set my price somewhere between $65 and $70 an hour. Personally, I'd probably pick the upper end of the line. If I want to be more expensive, maybe fewer students would engage my services, 65 if I wanted to be at the lower end of the range. But I would estimate with 95% confidence the true mean amount that all parents are willing to pay is somewhere between 65.18 and 70.82.